Beautiful. 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 Beautiful.
All right, we're back. Audio is back. No audio. We had no audio there for a second. Appreciate you, chat. Thank you, chat. It's okay because I was just complimenting Twitter Spaces. Chat for the win. Chat for the win. And as you can see, actually, what do you all think? We have this this chat box going on in like you can actually see chat in the stream now. What do y'all think about that? Should we have it on the left side? Should we have it on the right side? Should we have it in the middle, like in this middle area? I do have also this just chatting one right here. We could see it. Put it right smack dab in the middle. Boom. Also on Twitter Spaces. I think so. This one has a really great space for it. Might have to figure that out for this other one. But boom, we still have it there. You can still see it. That's what I like, at least. You can still see it. I do have a schedule, believe it or not. I do have a schedule of things, but I'm just taking in this moment. Really appreciating this time because for a long time I feel like, I don't know, I feel like as a content creator I have been holding back because I felt like I didn't want to overstay my welcome. I didn't want people to get sick of me. I didn't want people to be like, the bear market's here and people just aren't trying to hear it anymore. Like I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know. But at one point I just said, you know what? People who want to stick around are going to stick around. People who like the content that I'm making and want to be here will be here. It doesn't matter. The numbers don't matter because everyone across the whole ecosystem is experiencing the same thing. The numbers are going down, folks. The view numbers are going down. The volume amount is going down. Everything's but a dire, almost like zombie-esque kind of fiending for a win kind of thing. Like the only way you can survive is if you don't become a zombie. If anyone's watching Resident Evil on Netflix right now, you know what I mean. Don't become one of those people that's just chasing down a win right now, because then who are you? Why are you here? It loses a sense of everything. So like, it almost takes away the creative juices, the creative energy. So now taking the opposite approach, I was like, you know what? I don't care like whether my numbers go up or down, sideways, left, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is that I feel like I'm making the content that needs to be made, that I feel like I'm, here with my community, people who are around, that, I'm listening to them and I'm building out, content that is meaningful to them. Hey, Kevin. We are part of the accelerator. We have some 3D projects on Cyber. Maybe you can check it out. Yes, DeFi guys. I would love for you to drop that link in there. I would love to check it out. And one of my topics today is Accelerate on Earth. So I'm going to definitely be talking about that. And as soon as you drop in that, maybe I don't have an order of operations like my typical streams, but I do have a list of things here. I'm going to start going through it. But if anybody wants to chime in, anybody has any thoughts they want to add or something they want me to check out, let me know. But for one, I found this out the other day. A lot of people have been asking and we've been trying to figure out a couple things. So in Ethermon right now, you can go ahead and battle your mons. For instance, we got Omnom here. We got Chiari. We got Mintal. Now, these are the 3 free mons that you get for signing up. These are off-chain. These are not on-chain mons. So there is a difference. I won't go into the specifics right now, but when you battle them, they functionally active the same way. You get the same loot in Decentraland. It's the same. But their health goes down. And you used to go and find these little farms that you can farm food and give to them to heal them. And I thought that was it. And I was trying to track down where were one of these farms that I could feed my Omnom to heal it so I could do more battles. So it turns out that they removed that feature. There is no more, farm for healing kind of component that I was just mentioning. that was removed, and now it's just a time-based healing. So, you give them some time to rest and they will heal, but basically it takes about a day for them to heal. So yeah, that's basically how the whole, what do you do when your when your Ethermon reaches a low level. Another option that you can do is if you do have other Ethermon that are like Decentraland enabled, you can actually come here to the teams building. So there's this building here. It has like giant tentacles on it. You can see out front. It's called the player building. Has giant tentacles. It's, to be exact, the coordinates are 79, 45. Oh, look at that little tentacle moving. Look at that. Caressing me. It's Omnom's cousin. There's a storage unit here where you can store all your different goodies, all your different treats, everything you collect from your battles. You can only have about 28 things on you at once. So when you get full, you come over here and you put it in that storage unit. In this building, you can also change the moves for your Ethermon. You can do crafting. Like if you can use those loot things downstairs that you store, you can use them to craft. That's coming very soon. But you can also switch up your team. So if you do have other Ethermon, then you can switch them out this way. And these are kind of some things that I've just learned in my initial explorations. Certainly for me, I just feel like it's also kind of cool just to hang out here in Ethermon Plaza. It has that Pokemon vibe. When I walk around here, I just feel like Professor Oak is like right around the corner, and I'm about to show him my Kraken Journeyers, and he's gonna be like, yo, he's gonna think I'm a Pokemon. He is going to try and capture me. But it just gives me that vibe, It's really great. And this is something we were emphasizing the other day, like having that ability to re-experience things like this Pokemon nostalgia, like this Ethermon, vibe. Being able to re-experience that within the context of Web3 is a whole thing of its own. I didn't really expect that to be the case, but it is. Because you're out here with your wearables, you're out in Decentraland, you're down the street from your own spot, maybe from MetaZoo, wherever you're going, you're gonna stop, and you stop through, and it has like this crossover with something that is really just that we all love. Sherry Berry says, I haven't seen Chicken Shoes yet. Sherry Berry, you're a subscriber on Expand, correct, Sherry? You know what? That is a great point. That's another thing on my list right now. After I complete this battle right here, just because I ended up getting into it. After this battle, I will send out those prizes from yesterday's NF Tuesday. For those of you... Okay.
Good morning, KOE.
Hey, we got Big Nasty in the house. What's good, Big Nasty?
How are you?
Chillin', dude. Well, thanks for stepping into the spaces.
Yeah, bro, I literally woke up 5 minutes ago, scrolling on Twitter and saw that you were live, and I was like, oh, I saw your tweet that said, firstly, let's talk about greediness and confusion in the market, and then, so I was really interested. I was like, okay, this sounds interesting.
Yes.
Let's I feel like
Have you been looking at this? Have you been looking at, this is something I've been wanting to talk about is kind of...
I'm going to retweet really quick, too.
Hell yeah, man. Appreciate that. No, this is something I've been watching, and I'm not going to lie, folks. Part of me, I had so much FOMO this last week myself because, like, this whole... whatever you want to call it, people want to call it a pump, but if you actually look at the trends of this bear market, you realize this is less of a pump and more so a grabbing of the market potential that was already there. Like, we were very below the sort of trend lines for this bear market, and I think that on the way down, there's people who are ready to capitalize on those opportunities, and they hit the zone right in the right spot, and I think it worked, but I think people's greediness is going to make a lot of people think this is going to continue. But for me personally, I'm just looking at this like as a downward trajectory towards that sort of 700 to 800 realm for ETH come sort of September, October.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
So you're saying that this little bull run that we're having, like, kind of during summer is just not gonna last?
I personally think that we're close to the.
Confused what you're saying.
It's like it's too. Number one, it's too soon. Like, it's too soon, and the reason why I say it's too soon is because, just reasonably speaking, I feel like the biggest reason why we entered the bull market is because of a lack of safety and protection and the right kind of regulation and in place to protect from all these hacks, from everything that is making this a very dangerous place to invest. Institutional money saw everything that happened with Luna, with all these big, upsets that kind of set us in trajectory for this current bear market. And we're not going to hit the next true bull run until all of those things are addressed, fixed, and really till we see that proven out, which is going to take another year and a half, depends on the pace of things. But, like, in the meantime, there is this space between the bottom and the top of that downward trending bear market, which will ultimately, rest within a sort of longer period accumulation, sort of patience period, let's call it. And we just haven't hit that yet. And if you look at the actual charts, like, I'm actually streaming on Twitch right now, and I'm not an expert here. I don't think people should be taking my word as Quran, as they say. I think people need to do their own research. But if you just do some basic, market average sort of estimates, you can see, basically that we're basically just seeing people grab opportunity, and there's going to be traders who are going to do that up and down. But what was really interesting is if you look at Mana, the Mana token has not been, sort of like outrageously active, except for now we're seeing it just about to hit $1. We haven't been seeing so much up and down from things like Mana. And the reason why I say this, but now we're seeing it partake in this pump. And the reason I say this is important is because it just shows how less impacted the ecosystems that are heavily sort of supported by this creative economy, and it's not supported by speculation. When you get these sort of, economies, these metaverses, these corners that are really supported by that creative economy, you find that they're not as impacted by that market volatility of the pump and dump, the speculators. Like, just look at land on that end of the spectrum. Like, land isn't super volatile, but Mana is. That's like one little micro way to look at it. But when you look at the market as a whole and you compare Mana to other tokens, you can see that, like, these creative-centric... So I think that, like, creatives tend to be less greedy. Artists tend to be more focused on what they're creating and less what they're gonna get out of it, and more what they're giving and what they're putting into the world. So that for me has been, this isn't investment advice. It's just observations. I'm curious, Big Nasty, like, what are your perspectives on the current market right now? Everything that's happening from, this center of, like, ETH, Mana, Bitcoin, those. I mean, Matic is doing outrageously.
Yeah, I think you're kind of hitting it on the head. I feel like spots like Decentraland, where, there's opportunity for creators to, like, support each other and reinvest their money to this, like, kind of ecosystem, where there's, like, things like where there's actual utility for, like, buying NFTs, like being able to wear them, use them in P2E games, that kind of stuff creates that kind of, like, almost a real simulated economy, because we're feeding back into each other. I'm buying your wearable, you're buying my wearable. I'm going to spend money into this P2E game when people buy my wearable, stuff like that. And then it creates a real simulated economy where we can, like, support each other. I feel like, you kind of hit. There's a little bit of greediness in the wearable market. I feel like sometimes it's really hard for people to price their items correctly, because it's kind of hard in this day, like right now, to add utility to your item.
Mm-hmm.
So when people are pricing legendaries at like 50 mana without any utility, it's just really hard.
Right. I mean, other than the utility of super massive drip, right?
Right, exactly. So I took some econ classes in college, and so like I learned about willingness to buy and stuff like that, like where those thresholds are. And so kind of where I figured it out was 15 to 25 mana for a mythic, 2 mana for a legendary. Like that's what I've been doing, and it's been working out, and I feel like it creates a floor low enough for where people can feel like they can buy my item and still resell it and make a couple mana off of it,
Yeah. Absolutely.
So have you seen the Blunderhead collections that I've been doing?
Let me check. What is it on your Twitter?
Yeah, they're on my marketplace, but they're all they've been selling out, and it's because they're just one of 10s that they're all completely unique, and I was selling them for 15 mana each,
Mm-hmm.
So it gives people the ability to buy a cheap mythic, and then if they want to, flip it for 20-25 mana.
Nice.
Because I don't have the ability to give people utility yet, because I just don't know SDK or anything like that, so that's my version of being able to create value,
Have you heard of Last Slice?
Yeah.
They have these kind of plugins. You'd have to talk to Lastrum and see if they have those active right now. But I know one of the things I thought was really cool, they had some plugins that were like you could put into your builder that would do things like fields of token gating things. Like you have to have a certain wearable to get into a certain area. So maybe check that out if you want to start. Or also if you want to talk about utility, you could set up a Discord. Use a free thing like what's the name of the one that I use? Let me give you the name of it. It's free and it's the same one that Artifact uses for their channel. Hey, we gotta follow here. Appreciate that. Vulcan Authentication, Vulcan Bot. Have you heard of this? Vulcan Bot. If you check out Vulcan Bot, Big Nasty, it's a appreciate the follow, Fungible Taco. That's an amazing name. I need fungible tacos in my life. But yeah, so
Fungible Taco.
Right, Fungible.
He runs Landworks.
Hey.
He's the manager for Landworks in Decentraland.
Hey.
We had spaces with him a couple weeks ago about land and bringing more people into Decentraland and using that empty space. But sorry for interrupting you. I love
Landworks. I love what they do. I love everybody coming through the spaces, and I appreciate people coming through the Twitch, and when they got to leave the Twitch, they're hopping on the spaces. People, this is how you create a movement. And anybody who wants to come up and speak, Johnny Fia, I feel like just came up on the stage. While Johnny kind of jumps into, maybe you want to introduce your. I think maybe Big Nasty and maybe Johnny. Can we do some introductions? Let's reset the room. My name is Kevin. Kevin on Earth. I am a content creator. Lastly, firstly, I'm an artist. I'm a technologist. I love bringing value to people in ways that seem almost at a loss in this world, and for me, I feel like Web3 opened up so many possibilities for me to do that. So that's what I've been doing. A lot of awesome people in this community. I'm gonna let them introduce themselves. Big Nasty, do you want to kind of introduce yourself, and then Johnny, you can go up next?
Yeah, so I'm Big Nasty. I'm just a Blender user, 3D asset creator, wearable creator, and I kind of just do a similar thing, I guess, where I try to teach Blender and teach people in Web3 how to make money and how to make your own brand and community and stuff like that. I've recently been working on I'm trying to create a group of Blender creators and try to like create like a marketing brand, because I feel like it's hard for, unless you're I feel like a lot of actual Blender creators don't have their own brands. They just work under other people's brands, you know, and I feel like
That's true. That's so, but Web3 has totally changed that.
yeah, exactly. And so
It's beautiful.
I'm working with a couple creators to try to get them like a mod and stuff, to try to some creators on Access, try to get them get their own brands going. But yeah, I'll let Johnny take the floor now.
Hey, thank you for that. Hey, Johnny, how you doing?
Hey, thanks for bringing me up. Awesome. I heard you say Fungible Taco. I see him jumping on. I was like, I know it's Fungible Taco. Yeah, he's the man. Runs Landworks and has done an incredible. Today's actually, I think yesterday maybe, or today is 6-month anniversary of Landworks launch. So
Let's go.
Yeah, really cool. Tons of really good metrics to go along with that too. Tons of rentals available for like $1 a day, which I guess I'll segue into what I've been working on. I work with Landworks and I work with Stylion, but my full-time sort of gig has been with Pangaea and Pangaea is a Metaverse land real estate development company, which kind of number one invests in the land, number two has a guild of over 200.
Pangaea ain't no joke, folks.
Like Big Nasty, we'd love you to jump in with us in our Discord. We need all sorts of creators. And then the third piece is Pangaea Partners, which is the consulting arm of the DAO, which, a lot of companies, it's just, we're so early, right? Like the dominoes are just being built before we even set them up to knock them down. And so we're here to do our best to like partner with brands of all different sizes, right? Most folks are like, oh, let me get in and get like the Porsches of the world, the Cokes. It's like, well, there's 200 million businesses on Earth. Not everyone's going to get the Fortune 500 brands, but there's a lot of brands out there that are interested, very intrigued, although they may not have like, a call to action to act with some urgency, which is part of our challenge.
That's very true. He's making a great point.
We're there to help them devise and like construct their website.
Can y'all on Twitch? Can y'all hear him?
Obviously, with our
how's the sound coming through for y'all?
Guild of creators, we can build the suit. And then we'll own the land. So we'll have it on the land. We'll have the creators. We'll have the brands.
I'm sending out these prizes.
Sort of that 360 view to help people kind of get in and get started. So yeah, that's what we're working on.
Dude, I am so freaking bullish on that. Like, the creative, people don't understand. I don't think people can fathom right now what we're seeing happen to the creative economy. Like, this is something I think all of us, it really, like, it gets me, like, fired up, because I feel like was like, I kind of thought, like, in my lifetime, I was never going to have the potential of seeing the things that I want to be built, and, like, being able to have a realistic path to creating them. We as creators, as artists, like, we are dreamers. We'll figure out some creative way to make our spaceship come true. But, like, at the same time, I don't want to live like that. I don't want to live under those kinds of circumstances when I'm trying to build my brand, when I'm trying to create art, when I'm trying to innovate. And I feel like just hearing what we're talking about, between Pangaea DAO, between how content creators like Big Nasty are building these sort of platforms, they're not doing this with the permission of anybody. They're doing it with the trust of people, because of what Web3 enables us to have a relationship between us and the people who value what we're creating, where we can have that kind of relationship no matter where we are in the world. We don't have to be in a situation where I'm necessarily, a gatekeeper, or I need a lawyer to gatekeep my IP getting on the market. So this is all really exciting stuff. And, I think all intents and purposes, it's definitely about connecting these creators across different ends of the spectrum to each other, and making us more aware of one another. So that's why I like to have this platform as a place to discover those people and give those people an opportunity to speak, because the more that we connect, the better we're going to be able to realize the ideas, the better we're going to be able to avoid obstacles that we encounter along the way. An example, and this is exactly, I want to jump into a next quick topic that I'm going to be shooting through topics, so we're not going to be kind of stagnating around this. Like when I do these spaces or when I do these streams, we're going to go through a bunch of different topics. So what I want to talk about next is specifically, what was it? It was let's see, that's right. The Accelerate on Earth program I'm doing. This is not a shill. I'm not asking you to pay for something. Listen up. I have been so grateful to be a part of this, I would say this forefront, be a part of this forefront. I'm not at the forefront. I'm a part of this forefront of this metaverse expansion, creation. There's certainly people who are doing things on levels I could only dream of. I feel like I'm grateful to say I'm a little part of that. I'm confident to say that because I've been blessed by the community with these DCL DAO grant to be able to build the DCL report. That for me has been a dream come true because all I want to do is build, and this has given me a platform to do that. And with that said, like, I see so many other people who either A, don't know about the opportunity, or B, are looking for, oh, I see, okay. 1 second. I had speaker. I'm new on Spaces, so I appreciate your patience on that, Web3. A lot of people want to get the opportunity to get these grants, but they don't know the format. They don't know the process. They don't have like a proven process to do this. And I have to say, like, I know how to do this. I'm not trying to brag, but I was actually part of the team that submitted and got the very first grant approved by Decentraland. I might not know how to get money from the NIH. I might not know how to get money from frickin' foundations, or, you know, I definitely didn't get a scholarship to college. But what I do know is I care about Decentraland enough to want to build it up. And in that process, I really feel like I've figured out how to communicate these ideas into the community and get them approved in the DAO. So if you didn't know, I'm actually running a free program. I've already gotten approved myself for over $130,000 from the DAO that I've used to hire video editors, graphic designers, 3D modelers, developers. I've been able to create content that I could have only dreamed of being able to create. And that is to say, I want other creators to have that opportunity as well. I could easily say, you know what, I'm going to spend next month working on my next DAO proposal. I have a lot of ideas and a lot of things I want to create and a lot of things I want to do that could bring value to Decentraland, but I'm just one person. I don't have the capacity to do everything that Decentraland needs. So before working on my next idea, I feel like I need to stop for a second and I need to work with people in the community who have been submitting their ideas, and not to say I know something more, I know something better, my idea. No, like, that's not where I'm coming from with this. It's more of, hey, I have a process that I've done repeatedly that has worked. I want to see if we can spend some time together workshopping ideas. And I've already selected, we've actually we put an application online. We had over 30 people apply to be a part of this Accelerate on Earth program. And I was able to select 11 that I feel pretty confident that we can work with. I can't say that I guarantee they'll get through, but I guarantee you that we're going to do this live. We're going to workshop all these things so we can learn from each other, and y'all can see how I'm workshopping my own, from my own perspective and how I would approach this, so I can hopefully lend you a perspective that is going to help you be more successful. If you weren't selected in this first month, that's fine. This is going to be a monthly thing. Every month, I'm going to try and pick anywhere from 9, 12, depending on how this first one goes. We're going to keep selecting people month over month, and the idea and the dream is to say, every month, how much money can we put into the hands of creatives? How much money can we do how much can we stimulate the creative economy, and how much can we solve problems every month in Decentraland? I think that is sort of the goal here, is to say, can we have, I mean, maybe our goal one day we can make in 1 month that we can get over $1 million approved for DCL creators in 1 month. Can we get 1 month in funding approved with our efforts? Can we get $1 million in funding into the hands of creators to solve and build amazing things in Decentraland in 1 month? What is that going to cost? What is that going to cost? Number one, it's going to take people who are passionate about building and want this opportunity. Number two, I'm going to be putting my own time on the line, not only to mention the 2 hours that I'm going to be putting aside every Thursday from 11 to 1 p.m. to run the workshops. So that'll be every Thursday from 11 to 1 a.m. That's going to be my specific time where I'm workshopping this with those organizations, those individuals, those teams. We already have people like Art versus Die, people like the ideas that are coming through. People have great ideas, but they're not doing everything the right way, I have to say, and that's delaying them. That is delaying them. And then people see that, and then they get discouraged. People look at other people getting denied, and they're like, oh, how am I going to get approved? So we're going to fix this, and I'm going to be like that guy, like in World of Warcraft, if you have any other World of Warcraft nerds out there. I'm like just a little quest giver for you on the way. But I'm not just any quest giver. There are some serious, this is like that tiered quest. Maybe you start and you get $5,000 to get your video editor, or to get your prototype bill, or to, but there are going to be certain limitations I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you the traps and the obstacles along the way. That's going to be, there's going to be, each week is going to basically, we're going to perfect this into a cycle that we can do every month. And right now, the way it's looking like is week 1 is going to be all about writing your grant. You're going to want to come with your grant already prepared and written as if you were going to submit it to the DAO. I'm going to go through it. I'm going to show you things that you can do better, and we're going to iterate it. Remember, we want to do this fast. This is not a matter of slow steps, one by one. These sessions are going to be hardcore, fast-paced workshop sessions. We're going to rip things apart so we can build them back up. And you're going to be taking this time in between these sessions in order to work on things. So that first session is going to be all about workshopping and going through and really refining your grant application. The second week is going to be all about community feedback and grant iteration. We're going to go through the process of how to get feedback from the community, who to get feedback from, because you don't want feedback from just anyone, and how to tie that into your grant. So that's going to be the second week. The third week, we're going to submit that to the grant, we're going to submit that to the DAO. We're going to submit those, and we're going to work together to know who exactly we need to target in order to get our stuff approved. We're not just going to blast this on Twitter. We're going to target these specific people with the voting power, and we're going to respectfully bring this information to them. And it won't be the first time, where it's going to be probably the second time. The first time we bring this to them is going to be in the community feedback. And then last but not least, that last work is all about what you do after you got approved, and how do you build that, how do you execute, how do you keep people aware of your progress so that you can apply for your next grant for the next stage. And this is like it in a nutshell. But we got some people here who have their hand raised. I want to give them a chance to talk. DeFi guy, I'm gonna let you go, and then Big Nasty, you're up next. And we also have another speaker on the stage here, Dr. Preposterous. I freaking love that. I definitely need my next annual checkup with you, doctor. So we'll have to talk. DeFi guy, you're up. How you doing, man? You want to introduce feel free to make an intro too.
Hello, Kevin. Hello, guys. Thank you for the opportunity to talk here. Yeah, I mean, my project, I think me and my brother, we are, my brother has like the experience as a 3D modelist, and I'm a data analyst, so I'm doing a lot of things on blockchain the last 2 years, and right now, what we were trying to, and my brother was one of the guys selected to the accelerator, you know. And
Yes.
I'm a part of the ambassador team of A-Star. It's a EVM chain, on Polkadot, and which it's interesting because now everything is coming together. Because yesterday I was talking with one of the developers of Astar, and it seems like they're trying to integrate Astar to Polkadot, Astar to Decentraland, using a relayer system, so maybe in the future, the first Polkadot parachain on Decentraland can be Astar, will be very, very good, this integration of multi-chain. And me and my brother, we were creating this AR NFT, and we were probably...
Whoa! Don't skate over that. Tell them more about what this is all about. People, this is the project that we're going to work on for the DAO, or...
Yeah. I think I don't know if I can talk, but I think we are trying to do. We're gonna maybe trying to have a land on Decentraland to showcase NFTs. So it's gonna be a kind of very complex system here, and probably can be even multi-chain too. So we're gonna be on maybe Astar, Polygon, and. So, I think it's a very good opportunity and thank you for the opportunity here, Kevin.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for talking about it. Thank you for being a part of this community, and y'all just throw some emotes right there, whatever the react is, whatever you got to do in Twitch chat. Make some noise for DeFi guy. He's a creator in the space doing big things. Big Nasty, I see you got your hand up, and then Dr. Preposterous up next.
So I wanted to say that this accelerator program is super interesting, and I'd love to talk to you about it more because I started my Decent Tutor thing about kind of trying to create a community for new creators and new 3D modelers, and how to get them started in Decentraland, as well as showing them that being a creator, if you do it correctly, isn't a scary process. I have events set up or planned out where I'll go through the whole process and all the way through curating in the whole event to kind of show that it's not a scary process and that these people
I
are
love
here.
that, man. You are a bridge. You're bridging people into that.
Well, because my whole I was scared submitting my first wearable and
hell yeah
process and stuff. And then you realize, these guys aren't here to, take your money and tell you to F off. They're here to help you. They're here to help you get your item perfect and working in game and get it on the marketplace,
Exactly.
So I feel like there's a lot of disconnect between Blender and Decentraland creators and people who want to become Decentraland creators. So
absolutely.
Yeah, I'd love to talk to you about that more. And then I also just kind of had a follow-up question about what do you think? So, the whole Exodus proposal and stuff like that, that's been kind of huge in the DAO recently. And I was just wondering, what do you think Exodus could do better in terms of their proposal and stuff like that?
Easy answer. Easy answer on that. I guarantee you the easiest way that they could get, and I guarantee you they could get that 240,000 approved, is by starting with a smaller grant. That is their first grant they're trying to get approved. And some people will say, oh yeah, but it costs more for you to make a game. But you know what? That's bullshit. I'm going to call that. I've built, I spent the last 8 years as a tech startup entrepreneur. I know what it costs to build a team. I know what it costs to build software, everything from enterprise level to consumer-based apps. I know what that costs, and you do not need $240,000 to build a prototype. And this isn't a matter of, oh well, maybe you're proven, maybe you do deserve it, maybe you do have the biggest following. It's yeah, maybe my mother is my mother, but I don't go over to her house and expect her to do my laundry. You know what I'm saying? Like, as,
Totally.
like people
So,
out in the community, we need to like know that they are that family for us, that we can't have the expectations that and the entitlement. Not saying that there's an entitlement there in that particular case, but we can't even come off that way. And going straight into it and saying I want $240,000 like isn't right. And I'm not just talking the talk. Like if you look at my history and grant proposals, you'll see that the first grant that I submitted was for I think like $500. And then the second grant was for like 2,000. The third was like it scaled upwards. Like it wasn't something where, and like the biggest grant that I've asked for was for that $120,000. And I have to say, like, that was also not only good for, it was good for me. It's better for Decentraland. It's better for everyone that way. So, just to answer that question, like, I think, ultimately they just need to start with a smaller grant proposal, and that would already increase their opportunity to be successful. And then there's other ways that you could go about it as well. Like, in the actual Accelerate on Earth program, we're going to be talking about this, and we're going to be looking at case studies, and we're going to be looking at not just one specific ones, but part of one of the workshop exercises we have will be for you to actually go out. So if you want to get a head start on this, one of the exercises we have is you will have to go out and look through the grant proposals for grant proposals that are similar or relatable to the ones that you've submitted. You're going to want to look at which, were they approved, were they disapproved, what amount were they approved for. We're going to look at all these different dynamics when it comes to, because just because someone got something approved once doesn't mean it's easy for someone else to get the same thing approved. All these things, have to be taken into account. And I think if we do this together in these kinds of workshops, that eventually that is going to lead to people being more successful, being able to look back at those videos and learn, and then eventually maybe you won't, like, the goal is like that people won't really need me anymore. People will have that and we'll be able to work on other things, and but I mean, y'all, I'm just excited at the idea. I think that we can actually achieve, like, not sometimes it's crazy, like you don't know where the money's gonna come from. But, like, we can actually put $1 million next month into the hands of creators. It is possible. Dr. Preposterous, I want to hear you speak.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey.
So not super familiar with the ins and outs of a lot of what you're saying, but I kind of basically follow DeFi Guy in here. I'm a big fan of him personally, so I'm excited to see him pursuing some of this. I just want to give you a shout out that I think it's awesome, man. You sound like a real champion of an ecosystem with a tremendous wealth of knowledge on how to get shit done in a space that many people find themselves lost in. And so to be a champion of that, but not only just like squander that talent, but want to leverage it to spread it around, and spread that wealth a bit. 100%. Big fan already. So,
dude, thank you so much, bro. That means so much.
Yeah, no problem. Also, I'm over on the kind of Astar network, which is a layer one on Polkadot, over where DeFi Guy's from. But I'm basically one step away from nearly every like team lead, on entire Polkadot. I've kind of stumbled and bumbled my way through to there. So I would love to try and I'm gonna follow DeFi Guy around and get some updates on him about your stuff. But I'd love to start channeling the weight and power. And if you've got anything in your mind, Polkadot's basically just a interoperability hub. I don't think it's going to be a flashy, big gains kind of environment, but they got a lot of weight to throw around, a lot of interoperability to leverage. If you can think of anything that could help out on the Decentraland front on that part, let me know.
Absolutely.
Our DeFi Guy, and he'll circle it back to me.
Perfect.
Because we've got a lot of hungry people in Polkadot that want to start interoperating off of Polkadot. So
I love it.
And lots of funds to go around. So definitely channel it through him. I'm actually sitting at work, and I just bounced on to listen into this, so I can't talk too long. But huge fan, man.
Appreciate you, man.
You're doing good stuff. Keep up the good work. Very impressed.
Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that, and Absolutely. I'm going to be in touch with DeFi Guy, and we'll find ways to align, because I think we're just at the start here. And I'm very happy to say that, like, for me, doing this is just, fulfilling in its own, like, doing this Accelerate on Earth isn't going to be the last thing that I think of to be able to empower creatives. And I don't know why I feel like I'm gonna discover why at some point, but there's something real. I think it's like this sort of exponential impact thing. Like, if I create something, only one thing happens. But if I can empower a room full of people, then 20 things happen, and those 20 people can go off to inspire other people. And so for me, I feel like it's the difference between an exponential impact towards just something that's in front of my face.
Yeah, that's the decentralized dream, right?
Hell yeah,
you
dude.
distribute all this workload, and nobody cares who everybody is. But if you're productive and you get going, man, everybody wins.
Absolutely.
No sense in that funnel into a centralized source so they can just rake in some money on it. Like, let's all get in. Let's all hustle. Let's all build what we want, because we can. We've got the tool sets now.
Literally, and the capital, which is like for so long that it was kind of like not around. And I mean, something I can say, like, I'm super excited about right now, and I'm sending out prizes right now for yesterday's NF Tuesday. For those of you who don't know, every Tuesday we run a scavenger hunt in Decentraland, and we send out prizes for people who find things, and we do, like, it's a fun way for us to highlight different creators in the space, rather than just say, here's person A, here's person B, event A, event B. We can make a game out of it. People discover it. They take pictures, and it becomes this, like, living archive of, like, what's happening in Decentraland.
Yeah, man. One more thing. If you're up for doing an AMA to an audience of a DAO that's got a few thousand, I'd love to hook up with you, pick your brain, give you a platform to kind of shout this outside of your current ecosystem.
That'd be
so
amazing.
If you're interested, just shoot me a DM, and I'd like to make that happen. It's Astar Degen's DAO. So they're like a community VC that wants to sling funds around, or they're just excited about new stuff.
Amazing.
And then through that Astar network, you can look up their Twitter profile. I don't know what their following is, but I'm sure we could leverage into that crew with an AMA too. So hit me up. We're kind of AMA hungry. We've been doing them. AMA's been growing, and you sound like a guy who needs some extra platforms.
That would be amazing. I would love that. Count me in.
Yeah, DM me. I gotta run.
Yeah, I wrote it down. I got a note here. I will definitely DM you. Have a good day, man.
Sweet. Good work, man.
Thank you. Yo, I already love Twitter Spaces, because the fact that just happened, like, we're making these connections, like, freaking people, we're going to the moon. I want to tell you about what we built here on Expand with this funding that we got from Decentraland. So we got $120,000 from Decentraland DAO to build out automation of reward tokens for content creators. What exactly does that mean? Basically, and this ties to what we're going to be really talking about in this Accelerate on Earth program, what it comes down to is solving a problem for our community in Decentraland. If you want an easy way to get your DAO proposal approved, is to solve a problem. If you find a problem in Decentraland that you can solve, that no one else is solving, or even better, maybe they're solving it in one way, but you can solve it in a better way or a different way that isn't being currently addressed, and there's plenty of examples of that. But if you see a problem that's not being solved, you can get funding to do that. Now, when I spent, after 1 year as a builder in Decentraland, and a few smaller grant proposals, I definitely realized that one of the biggest challenges and one of the biggest problems for, at that time, what was a big driver for the growing community of Decentraland was the content creators that were in the space. People like myself, Peanut Butter, JTV, Ingester, everyone had their own little community, and that was driving a lot of the events. I mean, we're talking about altcoin radio, remography. There's so many different groups to even discuss. Trunicorns, you can't even stop. Like, all these people were running into a issue, which was managing our giveaways, managing our rewards for our community. They became very burdensome. You had to spend a lot of time sending out NFTs, clicking one by one. I never will forget my 24-hour stream after reaching 999 followers on Twitter, which, by the way, right now we are at 9,742. So I'm talking about, not too long ago we were like at 999. Now we're almost about to hit 9,999. But when we did 999, we ended up doing a 24-hour stream, and I think I clicked, I sent out like 1,000 NFTs, and then imagine having to do that every week, every day, forever. That is a bottleneck, folks. That is a problem. Not only does that prevent us from having and I'm honestly, like, as a creator, as somebody who, like, you run into many issues where you're trying to send out prizes, something doesn't send, like the send transaction fails, and then somebody misses out on something, right? Or like you're going down a list of all these people you have to send things to, and you miss one. So then people said, okay, well, let's build out bots. Let's build, or hey, there's this bot that'll do my trade, right? That'll do my sending of my token. But in my opinion, that's not a solution, because that doesn't give you a way to, because people had to do it via Twitter. So you have to post on a Twitter post, right? Let's just talk business. Like, as a content creator, unless you have 10K followers on Twitter, you can do the subscriptions. But if you don't, how are you able to, like, really, like I want to say, like, own that content if it's just on a Twitter post? Even if you tell people post a picture or answer a question or whatever, like, and not only that, but you're exposed to all of the bots. All of the bots are going to come in. So, yeah, maybe you solve the problem to create another problem.
I think you kind of hit it on the head. We were talking about this in a Beaver's Twitter Spaces a couple weeks ago, how it's kind of Decentraland. What they're really missing is we don't have like a platform, like a centralized platform for all of us to communicate and like with each other, like a social media. Everyone uses Twitter, Twitch, all kinds of these different media methods to community build, because we don't have one centralized for Decentraland. And I feel like that kind of goes hand in hand with like those, like the giveaway bots, like they're all on Twitter, stuff like that. And like a lot of people don't like use Twitter. I only started using Twitter because I became a content creator.
Absolutely. And you needed a way to connect and to like send out those messages. Exactly.
And if Decentraland had something that was more centralized for like community media, that kind of thing, like the Decentraland Report, like that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. Well, so that's literally why I selected expand. So I was seeing this problem. But I knew that Decentraland in the time that I needed was not going to build this for me. And I was not going to spend another night counting up freaking points on Twitter. I wasn't going to do it. My wife was going to freaking kill me. And so I said, you know what I'm going to do? Like, I got to find an alternative. I started looking everywhere, all these different, and like seeing what people do on Discord. But then I hated Discord because it's just a chat room. It's not a content creator experience. And then it's just, and like, I went to, yeah, you can put in bots, but that doesn't tell a story. And I'm trying to tell a story here. So I thought, like, where can I go where I can get the opportunity to not only build these things, but also, like, own what I'm building? Like, I don't want to just build this out, something that doesn't exist, and not get a opportunity to, like, have some kind of say in it. I was, by the grace of the heavens, I came across expand. I'm not exaggerating. Like, it wasn't until discovering expand that like all these problems started to get solved. Number one, they were a sort of like earlier stage company, so any feedback that I gave them and any sort of features that I wanted to get, I could ask them, and if it was reasonable, they would hook it up. Like, they built out this leaderboard for us, so now instead of counting up points, tallying it on paper, and doing whatever, people can just post their answers like they would on Twitter. They used to reply to my post, my question on my Twitter post, and they used to reply with the answer, and I would have to write it down. Here on Expand, people post their answer on the comment, and I can just click select as, I can award them points, and that goes on our little leaderboard that's on Expand. And if you're not familiar, it's just expand.gg, and we have a community page on there. And so basically, what we got this grant, we built that out, and it was great. And for over a year, we've been on Expand. Over a year we have of pictures, videos, answers, content that we have created. This is where things get sweet. This is where the vision starts to become possible. This wasn't by chance. This was envisioned in the beginning. I said, I need a way that I can create and house this content that can be distributed not only to Decentraland, but to every metaverse. And wouldn't you know, the name of this platform is Expand. And I was like, holy shit, like, this is meant to be. I'm going to expand. I'm going to take this Web 2 centralized content platform that gives me 90% revenue share, folks. I cannot emphasize this enough. 90% revenue share. That isn't on Twitch. That's not on YouTube. That's not on Twitter. That's nowhere. If you are a community creator, now, of course, it lacks the discoverability and the user base, but if you start using this platform, you're going to easily see why this platform is about to be viral. It is niched in the right way. It is directed towards people in the gaming sphere, yes, and Decentraland and Metaverse has that crossover component of it having a gaming quality. So that's why with this grant, they were willing to award me $120,000 to build out through Expand and do a couple of other things, but mainly to build out automation of the rewards that we were all doing by hand. Not only so I can do it, but so everybody can do it. Any single one of you who has a community that is like, I want to have my own token that I can automatically airdrop and people can claim in my community on a weekly or monthly basis. You determine it however you want it to be. You can select, okay, I'm going to load my token into my community contract, and everybody in the community who's a follower can take out 10 report tokens every week or claim 10 report. And if you're a subscriber, you claim 100 report tokens every week. And we can make it so every month we automate, we can click one button and it automatically airdrops to all of our community members a wearable that we have. Saving me hours upon hours upon hours, and gives me, the content creator, a means to scale out my community while still remaining trustless and true to how I'm deploying those rewards for how people participate. So now the mentality of being followed on something changes from just I'm following something to get news to now I'm following something to get my own token for that creator's economy. And this is the kicker. So not only are we automating the report the token drop, so you'll be able to, Decentraland Report is going to be the prototype, the proof of concept that we deploy, but everybody is going to be able to do this for their own community as well. So firstly, people will, you'll be able to award your own token to your community mods. So now your mods who are moderating in your community, you can also set their own tier of reward. So now your mods can get rewarded for posting content in your community. Your followers can get rewarded just for following, and your subscribers can get a higher level of subscribe for subscribing. There's also the sub-only posts and the ability for you to reward your subscribers and your followers with the NFT drops. So boom, we've solved the NFT and the token drop functionality. Now, everybody else, we're also going to be having a store built. You're going to have your own like OpenSea type function. Imagine you could actually use those tokens that people are rewarded for being a part of your community. If you could load your own NFTs into your storefront so people could literally buy your Meta Moment wearables. We're going to have NFTs that are going to be redeeming coverage on the DCL report. So you'll be able to literally purchase coverage on the news using the token that you earn for watching that channel. Imagine if you could watch Fox News, watch CNN, earn the CNN token, the Fox News token, and then use that token to get advertising coverage, to have your birthday shout out, to have your next album shout out on CNN. That is decentralized news, folks. That's what it looks like. And literally, we use this Decentraland DAO to build that feature, not only for ourselves, but to build a ladder that anyone else in their community can also use to benefit in what they're building in Decentraland and any metaverse. That is how you use a DCL grant to build some shit that makes an impact. Do not ask for money to build out a video sequence that is going to be sort of only to say not leading to a next goal. You can get a grant for building a video sequence that leads to a bigger goal, but don't think just because you ask, hey, I want to make some videos to teach people about Decentraland, that that's enough, because it won't be. Y'all, what do you think, Big Nasty?
I was just gonna, I was agreeing with you. You know, I've seen proposals like that, and like seen proposals where people are like, oh yeah, I'll make some videos and stuff like that. But it's really like, when you dig deep, what you need is like, yeah, the videos and stuff are great, but you also need to do the community building, the onboarding. We're still so new. There's less than 1,000 players every day in Decentraland. That we need more people, and we need like to create that interest to bring them in. Like, I feel like we had that huge bull run back a couple months ago because people started finding out what Decentraland was, and they were like, wow, I can play a video game and earn money in NFTs from just playing a video game. Like, and I'm referencing Wondermine, you know?
Yes.
People started doing Wondermine there, and then we had a huge influx of people coming into DCL, and then that kind of just fell off. And I feel like a lot of it is because people came in super excited and then just got discouraged because either these P2Es are building really slow and they're not able to they're not able to get the turnaround they thought they were going to get, or that they just are discouraged because they don't see like immediately in this community, like, how can I become big like this? How can I make something like Wondermine? Or how can I become a creator like Yannicus? You know, like, it's very overwhelming and discouraging at first. So I feel
it
like
is
in our selective spaces, like me as a content creator in terms of Blender, being able to like create spaces in Decentraland where people can basically walk up and be like, oh, okay, this is like a Blender school where I can learn how to become a wearable creator. You know, having things like that will keep people in. It will keep people interested because it gives them opportunity to create for themselves without having to do what, you know, you and I did, where we're just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna build this myself, you know? Like,
yes.
we
got
to create, you know, a streamlining process for people, if that's the correct term.
Absolutely. Well, that's exactly it. I mean, and it's only to say that's the thing to do if you want to see this, if you genuinely want to see the community grow. You know, that's what the approach you have to take, or else it's just you know, like I said, it only grows as fast as we grow together. I think, you know, the way to grow Decentraland isn't by one person being successful, but by all of us being successful. And definitely this is where the we are all going to make it philosophy comes. Of course, we're not all going to make it because we're not all ready to make it. What does it take to be ready to make it? You have to be willing to wake up and make a list of everything that you have to do today to make it. Today, when I woke up, I made my list, my schedule, my first thing, and I wrote out everything I had to do. And some days I don't hit it all, but that's what it takes to make it. It's not that complicated. You just got to care and want to always improve. DeFi guy, yes, you want to weigh in?
Oh yeah, I think I agree 100%. Is that the most important thing I see in all this metaverse is like you need to create this community. You know, you need to, and I think one of the Decentraland has everything already. So the wearables are very cool, everything, but the problem I see when I'm playing around is that the games are not that smooth, you know, it's not very intuitive. So I think Decentraland had a problem with their voice chat 3 days ago or something like that. So
yes,
when we create more like pro engagement and people are gonna just play around like you see on Roblox or Minecraft, is that when you facilitate the average user to interact, not only the technical guys that know how to create a 3D space with Blender and using the Decentraland SDK, you need to open up to the average users, you know. And when they understand that you can contribute on that. So I think after that, Decentraland is going to explode because they have everything. They already have like on software on desktop. It's browser based. One click, you're in. You know, it's almost there. You know. Totally.
We're so close, and I think, you know, one of the things that is, you know, the thing is, like, you have to think about, like, the background of where Decentraland came from. Like, I think many of these things are really a lack of, like, I won't even say marketing, because the reality is that, like, marketing in the Web3, like, economy isn't the same as marketing for, like, other kinds of companies, because Web3 is more of like a community, like you said, is more like creator community. It's not really marketing as much as it is like having good communication about what you're doing and where you are. And the reality is that talk button break was them updating the talk button. And because they are a team of builders, you know, they're not focused on doing the marketing push to say like, oh, guess what? Like, you know, they don't have like, they have a marketing team that does social media and some levels of marketing, but they're not like, they don't have that level of marketing established and that level of communication that's happening as of now. So, you know, if it was me, if I was, you know, if I was on that team right now, like, or during that transition, for me, it would have been all about letting people know the story of why this is an exciting feature. And because talking in Decentraland is important. There's a lot of things that are important that are getting built and I think are happening in the background, but aren't getting communicated to us because honestly, without, you know, sounding over, you know, sort of overconfident, like, or arrogant, like, Decentraland knows that they've done it. Like, once you build New York, you can't stop being New York. You get what I'm saying? Like, yeah. They know that they've done it. So for them, they don't feel like they need to say much. They don't feel like they need to say much. They say, you know, like, we're going to keep building because people are going to talk shit regardless. Like, they're the best. Everybody's going to want to get a piece of that action. Everybody's going to want to be the next DCL. Everyone's going to want to topple DCL. Everyone's going to want to look at the corner of their eye and say, oh, but my metaverse is going to be better. We've been hearing it. We know. But so DCL, what did they do? What did they gain from talking about it? Like, I think that sort of mentality is there, which I think is like, yes, it's real, but I think it also takes them away from being able to have good, effective communication that is like, you know, sort of what the Decentraland Report has kind of fulfilled the function of with all intents and purposes. Like, we've kind of fulfilled that function, and like us as one of many organizations that fulfill that function. And that's the other mentality of the DCL team, is that like, they're like, let's let the community build the things that it needs. And this brings us back to the DAO. This is why it is so important. and why you need to know that the DAO wants us to get this money. There's these people, these whales, they want us to get the money, but they want the right people to get the money. They don't want to risk giving the money to somebody who's not going to do what you see me doing, which is standing up and consistently executing. I'm not better than anyone, but those are the people that they want to give the money to. That's my spiel about that. And what are people's thoughts? Like, I mean, we talked about, decentralizing news reward systems on Expand. Just to give you an idea, once we finish this grant proposal, I'll be definitely submitting for another grant proposal to build out ways so that the content that is posted in Expand can automatically and dynamically be a smart object that can be deployed into scenes in Decentraland. So that you could imagine if your Twitter post that you make on Twitter could upload and be present in your Decentraland build. Imagine if you had a simple smart object builder item that you could literally, your posts, your content could be uploaded directly from, it could be like a smart object that expands into the metaverse. Folks, we're not nearly close to being finished here. Big Nasty, what you got in mind?
So when you were talking, it kind of reminded me of, have you ever messed around on Sandbox? I was hearing that.
Absolutely.
I was hearing that, that the SDK and the builder inside of Sandbox is very hands-on and user friendly in terms you don't have to know any code. It's just moving building blocks together and shit like that.
That's it.
And I feel like that's a big place where Decentraland, I'm not a coder, a programmer. I don't know how that stuff works, but I feel like they were able to build a way to even make wearables or have the SDK in a very user-friendly format where new creators can start doing that stuff on their own. I feel like that would be a big push for DCL, something that we're really missing. I don't really know your thoughts on that.
Hello, Big Nasty. This is Withering Dawn. I just actually requested permission. I was going to bring this exact thing up because I've been learning lately from talking to artists and people on our project that the builder isn't as good as it used to be, and there's actually a project called DCL Editor or something that has gotten 2 grants to make a new version of the builder essentially that is more
That's right.
What you were talking about earlier with the Roblox, where anybody will be able to understand it better, what the builder used to be, work better with the code. So I think that needs to be brought a lot more attention, honestly.
Well, then let's talk about that right now, because actually there are grants and there are opportunities in using these builder items, using these things. There's actually grants that are opening up, and actually I really suggest that people keep that in mind, that you can still build on that. You can say I want a grant from DCL to utilize utilize that builder that they're establishing. All these different things that are happening, there are so many grant opportunities to use and build them. I think just recently, I think it actually just ended, I was looking for the link, but there was a grant opportunity for I think that company that built that, they ended up doing a hackathon, the Game Jam hackathon. They ended up having a whole separate grant pool for people who are using that. So it's a great point. Shrugs, what do you think that there's any specific opportunities that you think? I mean, Enter DAO also has a new grant that I'm going to be guiding people to, but what kind of opportunities do you think are missing?
Well, so from my perspective, it's just that I didn't even know it existed, and all the people that I know that are artists and using the builder to help us build scenes, a lot of them didn't know it existed. So I heard about it from a rumor, and then I went and did a DAO deep dive because I was looking at a lot of DAO things anyway recently. But the average player isn't going to know this at all. We just see, the builder.
You know why, Shrugs? I'm going to tell you exactly why right now. Because you are not following me on Twitter. That is why. You got to hit that follow, but I'm following you back right now. But all y'all who are following right now, honestly, I'll say
I had to make a new account recently, so I've been away from Twitter for a while. Been really busy, but
I'm just playing with you. No, but I'm saying, like, you're right. There's not enough people talking about these things. We need more people standing up on platforms to tell and make people aware of these opportunities.
KOE, I have a doc that I wanted to share with you, if possible. If you want to DM me like an email or something.
Most def. It's actually easier just for me to tell you here right now, only because I know I'm gonna have to run out to take my dog to the groomer in a second. But it'll be kevinonearth999@gmail.com.
Perfect. I'm gonna share.
Hey, let's go. And so, there's a lot of things that are going on right now that I had written down to touch on. Clones are going to be in new Ganymede for MetaKey. Make sure that you vote on your meta moment of the month. Upvote, go on, expand. If y'all haven't already, make sure to subscribe on Expand. Basically, you get a monthly wearable drop. For those of you who don't know, every month we vote on the top meta moment in the Metaverse, and we create a wearable out of that. Every month we do that, and all of our subscribers on Expand get that for free. So it's a free wearable every month. And those who collect the first 12 months, we're on month 2 right now. And if you subscribe, you can claim all the previous months until they run out, of course. But if you collect all 12 at the end of this year, we're actually going to have a fashion show, the Meta Moments fashion show, and we're going to have a special prize for people who have all 12 months. So with that said, I think I'm going to wrap things up. I do have to run, but I do want to close this on one quick point. Don't run away right soon, because this is really important. I saved the best for last. There is a community highlight here, a new way to rent land in Decentraland. So Decentraland grantees Double Protocol, so they got a grant. They've launched a new customized land rental system. The developers behind Double Protocol have developed an on-chain NFT rental solution that is customized to work with Decentraland land parcels. Double's marketplace provides a rental infrastructure that benefits both Decentraland land owners and prospective renters by streamlining and decentralizing the renting process. Using Double Solution, renters need only pay the rental charge on the NFT they're renting. No collateral is necessary. You do not need collateral. You only need to pay for the rental charge. Owners can retain and complete control of their land. This is beautiful. Just like in physical real estate business, Decentraland land owners can now rent out their virtual land to tenants who may want to use them to host events, develop into malls, offices, etc. How Double Protocol's rental solution works by leveraging on EIP 4907. So basically, Double NFT rental protocol runs on 2 primary smart contracts. Blah blah blah. You can read all about this on the blog post on the DCL blog. It just came out. There's going to be a whole rental process. It's going to be pretty simple, but you're definitely going to want to find out how to rent and lend your land. This seems like a good opportunity for people who are holding land like myself, and you can actually rent other things as well. Like you can rent out your ENS name if you wanted to. So if you're holding some ENS names like Coca-Cola, maybe you want to, rent that out to Coca-Cola for a couple days. Or maybe you want to rent a plot of land. Now, keep in mind, I will say this is not the only way to do this. There are other platforms that offer that, like Landworks, like Enter DAO. This particular one was grant funded by the DAO. Doesn't mean that it is the best solution. So with all that to say, there's a lot of ways to do that right now on the market, and it's going to be a test to see which one is going to work the best. I will say that Landworks has a grant of their own that they're going to be putting out. That's right. If you want to rent your land, if you want to start renting. So this is a platform that has been out, and you can currently see there are lands being rented.
great. Yeah, I rented a plot from Landworks for about, I think it's like 6 months, and I got it for like $80.
That's
And
amazing.
And I just did it as a test to kind of mess around and see, how, if I have land, what can I do with it? What am I going to do with it? I was able to, like, add auto dance,
Hell yeah.
So, yeah, I feel like the whole land rental is a huge opportunity for people, to kind of just test the waters with land. So you don't have to buy a $3,000 plot and then not know what you're going to do with it. You can rent for a couple months, build exactly what you want, and then buy the plot. And
Yes.
And then if it's not something that's going to fit your plan, then you can realize that before you buy it, If you're
Absolutely.
like, okay, this isn't really going to work out,
There's a 14 land estate right here that is, it's 14 lands. You can rent it for about $31 a day. So imagine you did like even just a 1 day launch party on a 14 plot estate. Costs you $31. I mean, people like that. I mean, you can build, so you can literally use the builder, build out everything you want, get it just right, and then rent that for the day, maybe 2 days, so you have 1 day to test it out, maybe make some adjustments. But either way, like, you could easily do something like that. It could be, a great way to get started. That's why a good point about Decentraland grants is that people say, oh, I want to use the grant to buy land. That's a big nope. That's a big nope.
That's the mother doing your laundry.
That's the mother doing your laundry. Do your own. Can I get some applause in chat for people who don't make their mother do their laundry? If you're willing to make yourself do your own laundry when you go home to mama's house, give me some applause in chat. I can see right here a lot of people in chat in Twitch right now and in Twitter Spaces who are making their mamas do laundry. I see you. Meta Trekkers.
Actually, Meta Truckers, that was funny, but I feel like they're part of this kind of group in Decentraland that's doing the most to, build and community build. And, like you said, having, like, hitting a goal and then having a goal, like, 2 steps right behind it, not staying stagnant. What day is it today? It's Tuesday? Wednesday? It's Wednesday.
Wednesday.
So they have the Wearable Wednesdays today,
Woo!
They're going to be basically showcasing new creators, and I feel like the Wearable Wednesdays have been really beneficial because not only are people able to showcase their work, but like what you were saying, people are able to share and tell their story about what got them into Decentraland, what got them into creating, and like what got them, like why they made this wearable and why it represents them, And
Absolutely.
It was the first one, and like all the ones after have been really cool, community building and like people connecting, So I just wanted to throw that out there.
Absolutely.
For all you guys have done so far.
Absolutely. Well, you know what? I'm just gonna say that like people like Meta Trekkers, people like yourself. That's what's really making people aware of the opportunities, and that knowledge is hugely valuable. I mean, just the fact that, like, for instance, you could have, sure, you rent the land, but then how do you build something on it, right? How do you get something that's valuable built on? Maybe you don't have the skills. On Landworks, not only can you connect with the land that you rent, but they also have scene builders. You can contact, they have like pre-vetted scene builders, everyone from as in-depth as Meta Live Studio to Polygonal Minds, Voxel Architects, Boson Protocol to Fireworks Design. It's just so many amazing ways that like people in their different platforms are connecting people to what they need to realize their ideas.
Yeah, I'm also a scene builder on for Landworks.
Nice. Which one is yours?
I just applied. I think they're still setting up my account or my profile.
Amazing. Well, we're gonna have to build something together, aren't we? I want to build actually. It's something that I want to build right now. I have some other land that that I want to basically deploy some stuff on.
I'll make you some stuff, man. I'll make you some custom stuff in Blender.
Yeah, I mean, the main thing for me right now is like to say I want to further support the efforts that I'm gonna be doing around in my build. So I have different plots of land. I do have the DCL report land, but I also have other plots around DCL where I want to have things like, maybe like not just billboard space, but something that's like interesting that can also serve as a way to promote artists, or as well as like just a space to do these the Accelerate on Earth program, just a space that is dedicated to like, sort of like this Accelerate on Earth, like getting people onboarded and aware of like what they, of like how to get things into the DAO. Like, so we'll talk about it, Big Nasty. I think there's lots of ideas to work through, but appreciate you, and I'll keep an eye on you for Landworks.
Yeah. Excited to talk to you further, man.
I'm so pumped as well, man. Appreciate you coming through. Let me know, anybody out there, if y'all feel like you have anything you want to see covered on the DCL report. If you want to have us talk about a specific topic, tweet me, message me, whatever it may be. Make sure that y'all follow me here on Twitter and on Instagram, Twitch. That makes the most difference. But what makes the biggest difference is subscribing on Expand. I would say if you're going to choose anywhere to subscribe to support, let it be on Expand, because those donations, those subscriptions get divided between our whole team. I forgot to tell you, not only do our reporters, our moderators get a cut of get report tokens, but they also get fiat, folks. They get all those donations. That's another thing that Twitch and Twitter and YouTube don't do for us. I can actually disperse those donations amongst everybody, not just myself. So literally what we build as a team, as a decentralized news team, when you support there on Expand, that doesn't just go to me, that goes to everybody. So for me, that's my mission right now, is to get that built up and growing, and I appreciate everybody helping making that happen. Y'all have a great rest of your day, and I hope that y'all will come hang out with me again tomorrow. I'll be here 11 to 1 ish, and we'll be doing another stream at the afternoon at night around 7 p.m. for our DCL report. Appreciate y'all. Thanks for hanging out. Much love. Peace. I got so many prizes to give away, but I'll catch y'all tomorrow on that. Deuces. Peace out, Sherry. Thank you, AI avatars, Ming Fei Shan, DeFi guy. Appreciate everybody who stopped through, tuned in. I tried to send out all the prizes for NF Tuesday. If anyone didn't get them, just let me know. All right.